built around agriculture, which he wanted to inculcate housing units for Ghanaians. And they started that in a bit. It fell along the line. We were not able to reach that dream because, I mean, you know how governments work. They come, they promise, and things happen. But it was something good for us where we're going to have the stimulating the flow of loans through banks, insurance companies, building societies, pension funds, all into the housing market. So that was one approach that as a country we could go for civil servants today to be able to own some of these housing units you see on Facebook.
Yeah.
It was something that was going to be monumental, or something that was going to be built upon, so that today as we sit here, we would have been boasting about thousands of housing units for the average Ghanaian. So when that fell, then we came to the Rawlings era, which we saw the housing estates springing up in Adenta. You know, the Sakumono housing estates, the Lashibi one, you know, the one on the Sprinters Road, and then the Snit estates during the era of former President Rawlings. All these estates came up to still support the need for housing in this country.
I'm sure we even had that inside estates and all that.
Yes, a Champon era within that time. So after those ones, somewhere around November 2006, former President Kufuor, under the National Shelter Policy, also came in to do what we call the Slum Improvement Project. And with the Slum Improvement Project, it was to solve places of the slum areas. We have some in Kumasi here, we have some in Greater Accra. You know, the old Fadama area, which there's been fire outbreaks, a town without number. You can go to Facebook right and now see how
these are
the slum areas are.
Yeah.
In Kumasi, we have earmarked portions of the Abu Abu area as a slum area that needed to be improved. So then there was what we call the habitat. Habitat was housing units made of wood in small units like chamber and hall, small rooms that was supposed to also come and solve these slum improvement. And you could see it's an eyesore. It's something that it does not beautify cities. It's something that creates nuisance within the cities. And we are praying that as we go forward as a country, we would come to realize that this slum improvement project was so important. That was introduced by former President Kufuor. And let me put this on record, where Ghana was selected alongside Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, by the UN to build this habitat. But, I mean, for some reason, it was called the Slum Upgrading Facility.
But these were not the structures that was planned for.
Which structures?
I'm talking about this kind of structures.
So we're going to demolish these slum areas and then improve upon them by building the one we call the UN habitat, which I mentioned that it was some wooden structures that was so nice to upgrade these slum areas into a modern city project.
They were more respectable.
Yes, more. I mean, it was going to be an estate setting. So you could see modern city in that area, and you wouldn't see these slums springing up within the cities. But for some reason, like we said, we had pilots in Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi. And even in Kumasi, some of these pilots can be found at Atumakwa Oma district. And they started. Then people would have been moved from these slum areas. And that was the main motive, that the Sokoban Wood Village was moved from here to its new current setting as we speak. It also fell along the line. We were not able to realize that dream. And that was part of the Millennium Development Goal, which we are still yet to meet. Then in July 12, 2010, under the era of our late President Mills, he directed the Minister for Water, Resources, Works and Housing, then, that was Collins Dauda, to solve the affordable housing projects that was started under former President Kufuor, which included the slum improvement. So under Kufuor era, we had the Wa affordable housing, we had the Asokore Mampo affordable housing, we had the ones in Accra, and all these projects were to be completed. So the Kufuor era left, Mills came in for almost about years down the line. He wanted it done. He instructed